Hey, Walter Sorrells back with another Knife Makers Friday 5. Today I'm going to be talking about probably the biggest game changer that has ever happened in my shop. This box right here is kind of the key to it. This is not your old normal unboxing thing. This is just me opening something up here. So, what I have in here is a Cat 40 tool holder. And this is going to be going into my new Haas Mini Mill 2, which is going to be right over there. So that's going to hold tools in the mill. So I've been doing CNC work on my Tormach right back there for 7 years now. And it was a big change in how I did business, and there was a big learning curve to it. But what I'm going to be doing now is filling this spot right here with more of a real big boy CNC machine. And it's really going to be, I think, a game changer for me. There's going to be a big change in my whole business model, and I'm really excited about everything to come. So I've been getting prepared for that for the last few weeks. Haas has finished my machine. It's been sitting out in Oxnard, California for almost a month now, but the machine, they assure me, is on the way as of tomorrow, maybe even today. So sometime next week, I should actually have a big old Haas mill. It's little by industrial standards, but it's big by my standards. So super excited about that. It's going to open up a lot of possibilities for me in terms of the types of knives that I can make, the volume of knives that I can make. It's hard to know exactly how all that's going to go, but it's really going to change pretty much everything that I do here. So my hope is over the next few months to kind of, pull back the curtain, let you guys see the process of what I'm going through in order to, accommodate this new machine and roll it into what I do here. So the next thing that's going to be happening here in order to prepare for what I've got to install next week, an electrician, my old buddy Clint, is going to be showing up here any minute now. And so we've got a 220 panel back there, and he's going to wire that up so that we can get the CNC machine plugged in there. And I think he is actually coming in right now. This Tormach right here has been my old standby for my semi-production Tactics Armory knives for years. I have a sort of weird business model, and so the Tactics Armory things kind of ebbed and flowed as I balanced it with other aspects of my knife making career, including Japanese swords and all the YouTube stuff I do. I'll do another video one of these days where I talk about the history of the Tactics Armory knives and where I'm planning to take them in the future, but basically every Tactics Armory knife starts life right here. The Tormach's a really cool machine, and I'm grateful for all the work that's come off that platform, but the time's come to move up to a more robust machine. So after a pretty fair amount of cogitation, I narrowed my next move down to the Haas Mini Mill 2. I'll talk about how and why I made that choice in a later video. But anyway, today I'll be doing two things. Well, I'll be doing one thing, and my buddy Clint will be doing the other thing. Most industrial mills are wired for three-phase power. For viewers outside the U.S. who aren't familiar with it, American electricity comes in a couple of different flavors. Residential circuits are normally wired single-phase, so you can run 110 volts AC single-phase or 220 volts single-phase. Whereas industrial locations typically have the availability of three-phase power. Now, I'm located in an agricultural kind of area, so there's no three-phase available here. So the Haas that I bought is a 220 single-phase machine, and that's what Clint's working on.
Clint Bowe, Performance Plumbing and Electrical. I came over here to Walter's. He's getting him a new CNC machine to go in here. We added him a 50 amp dedicated plug for when his machine comes in. It's 240 volts, isolated to just that one machine right there, so hopefully he'll be up and running.
So now that Clint is all done, I think we should be ready to roll next week when the truck arrives. Hey, by the way, if you've been enjoying this channel for, 14 years now, and all the how-tos and tool reviews and the other stuff to help you make better knives, help us out on Patreon so we can give you more videos, more knife builds, more plans, all that good stuff. Also, if you've been wanting to make a knife but just can't seem to get over the hump, I'll be doing a free webinar next month for beginning knife makers. Like I said, free, but you do have to sign up. I'll have a link to it down in the description under the All Things Walter link. If the information's not there today, it will be within a few days. All right, back to work. So for those of you who followed my move-in videos about the new shop last year, this whole area here was filled up with my woodworking tools. Those have mostly been moved so the rigger can get in and out of this bay door. The bandsaw will go shortly. I'll also move all of my forge equipment out of the way so the rigger has room to drive the forklift around. It would be ideal to come through this other bay door, but there's a big slope and grass and all this stuff, and I just don't think that it would be a very good plan to come in from that direction. I'm hoping that the rigger is not going to need me to move my workbench out of the way. Some of you will remember that I did a couple videos about making that thing last year, and it weighs a ton, so I'd rather not drag it around anywhere. Okay, now here's what I'm doing. First, I'm just sweeping the floor and moving stuff out of the way. Once that's all squared away, I'm figuring out exactly where I want my rigger to drop the Haas. It has to be in exactly the right place because at over 5,000 pounds, it ain't moving once it sits down. So, I'm consulting the mechanical drawings from Haas to make sure I have enough clearance all the way around it. Then I'll lay down tape on the floor to show the riggers exactly where I want it to be located. There's obviously plenty of space in front, and I scooched the Tormach over a little, so there's plenty of room on that side. But the door to the electrical panel of the Haas is just ginormous, so I need plenty of swing room for that along the back wall. I've also got a shelf back there which I may move eventually, but for now I'm giving myself enough room to keep it where it is and still be able to open that electrical panel. And that's about it. Assuming that everything goes as planned, more on that later, but assuming that we get the forklift in here dropping that machine next week, look for another video about the move-in when that happens. All right, well, I hope you found that interesting. You know, for the past few years, I've been focusing mostly on how-to kind of videos. I mean, I guess that's kind of always been my stock and trade, but over the next few months, I'm hoping to do more about kind of behind-the-scenes stuff about what I'm doing here in the shop. You know, kind of some of the business side, but also just like, I think a lot of people are curious about sort of just how things operate here on a day-to-day basis. And I'm going to be trying to tell you a little bit more about that. If you're interested in that, leave some comments below and keep your eyes peeled. We'll be doing more of this. So next week, if everything goes well, I should be having the Haas come in, and so I'll document that whole thing, show the trucks coming in and all that kind of stuff, and maybe a little bit about whatever the installation and training stuff that they do is. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what we're doing here, please subscribe and make sure that you click on that bell so you get notified of all the latest videos. Want to buy a knife from me? Check out my modern blades at tacticsarmory.com. Digging the channel? You can support our video making efforts on Patreon. You know, I've been banging away on these videos for like 10 years, so I hope you'll show some love for all that hard work. Link in the cards and descriptions. Finally, if you're interested in making Japanese swords, check out my full line of Japanese sword videos where I show how to forge Japanese swords as well as how to polish them and how to make fittings, handles, and scabbards. WalterSorrellsBlades.com.